Alright, what's up YouTube? Thanks for joining me today. I know this was kind of a short notice thing, but for those of you who are able to attend, thank you for joining. For those who will watch this later, I hope you get something out of it. And we're going to keep this short and sweet, hopefully under 15 minutes. And we're going to talk about how price moves, how we need to see the big picture, how do we trade during earnings season, and then you've got to be honest with yourself and ask yourself what's working, and then where do we go from here? And those are all great questions, and those are all things that we've talked about as a group or with the one-on-ones that I've done with people. And basically we have to understand how price moves, and I'm going to do that here with MS Paint. And some of you have seen me do this quite a few times, but I think it's always good to review it again. So let's just say we have support and resistance here. So this is resistance, okay? And this is support, easy enough. And we determine that when price moves up, and then we get what they call a change in personality. And that change usually will reflect price coming back down. This is the start of a new trend, right? So we've had the start of a new trend right here where price moved up, and then the start of a second trend where price moved down. And what normally happens is that price will have this tendency to bounce around in this box between support and resistance, and then kind of make a decision whether if it wants to go back up or come back down and then proceed lower. So price has this tendency to set up this box and bounce around. This is what we call the chop. And if any of you trade options during this time, during the chop, you're going to learn quickly that options are not the best trade in this situation, because you have all this time and all these other factors going against you, and you'll lose your money. That's basically how it's going to play out. Or you've got to be very, very quick to identify the chop here and take your money when it's available. So that's basically how price moves. Oops, if I can type. So let's take a look at this and see if we can actually see this within some of these charts. So for those of you who know me, I use the bigger time frames. This is the year, quarter, month, week, and then this is a daily on a 1 year. And the reason why I like to pull this baby back is because it really helps me just focus on price, okay? And what do I mean by that? Well, for me, this is a 10-day moving average. And when price gets below it, that helps me identify the start of a new trend, either up or the start of a trend down. So that's what I use the 10-day moving average for. In some of my other posts, you'll see a 2x10 as well. But for me, this is what I use. So right now, like in the Dow, you can see where price reversed here. And anytime where price reverses, that is the start of a new trend. So here we had let me just blow this up here. You can see we had 2 down, 2 down, 2 down, but then price reversed back through here at this 332.43. This is the start of your new trend, and this is what Rob is always talking about with your 2 up reversal. And so for those of you who took the trade right here, right there, you would make this your stop right through here, this 329, and this would be the start of a new trend. And you can see right now that we've had a nice little trend, 1 2 3 4 5 6 days where price reversed and we're still going up. So the start of a new trend right here when price went down, and then the start of a new trend where price went up. So to draw that out, and hopefully you guys can see this. You can see that price moved down, and now price is trying to move back up. Now, does it get up here? I don't know, but that would be my target for the Dow, to see if we can get up there. If we take a closer look at, let's just bring up the Qs. And you can see that I already have some of my notes on here. We can see that we had a nice support level right here, and this is the start of a new trend, right? We went 2 down and then we came up. This is the start of the new trend, and you'll notice how price formed this nice little level of support here. What do I mean by that? Well, let's drill into this. It means that when price was tested here, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times, all 4 times, buyers stepped in to move price back up and to defend that area. And you can see that finally right here, we were able to get buyers involved to where they thought this would be a good trade back to the upside. And so we ran, we rested, and then we ran, and we rested, and now we ran all the way back up to this previous high right here. That's what I mean by support and resistance and how it forms a box. Now the real question is, will we continue up here and fill this gap? Or will price come back down before trying to either proceed back down or go back up? Okay, that's the big picture on the Qs. Let's take a look at the SPY. SPY, same scenario here, where we had price come in and it was defended right here. You can see that. Defended for quite a few days. I mean, this is a nice little consolidation, but again, if you have an option during this time right here, oh, that's a bad place to be. Your option is just getting crushed. But finally, you can see that we got a trend right there when we did 2-2 reversal up, and now we moved up, we pulled back, and now we pulled up, we pulled back, and now we pulled up. So the question is, do we proceed up here on Monday and then go through, or do we run up and then come back down? We don't know. What we do know is that the price has a tendency to run back to the last known high. That's how you get this price action right here, right? That's how you get this price action here, and you form support and resistance. So with that said, let's just take a look at some of these, and you're going to see this pretty dang fast. And let's just go through these. AA ran to resistance, pull back. AMD trying to run back up to resistance. Amazon ran up to resistance. BAC ran up to resistance. Best Buy trying to get back up there. BKR trying to get back up there. CLF ran up to it and then closed above it. CMCSA, same thing, ran up to resistance, pulling back. CSX ran to support and is now trying to fall through. That's about the only bearish one that I have on my watch list. DD, same thing, ran to resistance and now is consolidating. Hopefully will break out. Disney to resistance. Ford trying to run to resistance. GE ran to resistance. Hilton ran to resistance, trying to go higher. H&R Block trying to reverse. JP Morgan right to resistance. Lyft right to resistance. Macy's right to resistance. Microsoft previous high. Micron same thing, running to resistance. Nvidia right to previous high. Paramount, nice move through resistance and still moving up. PCG trying to get to the top. Peloton, this was one that I had tweeted about. Nice consolidation there for about 5-6 days, and now we're trying to run to resistance. Shop right to resistance. SQ to resistance and above. Seagate to resistance. AT&T gap fill and now consolidating. Under Armour right back to previous high, possibly gap fill, but we also have earnings coming up. US Bank right to resistance, pulling back. Wayfarers, same thing, right to resistance. WBD to resistance and through. And WDC right to resistance. XLC to resistance, gap fill. XLF right to resistance. And Zillow trying to consolidate and move to previous high. So you can understand and see what I mean when price tries to run back to the previous high. Let's take a look at what else we have here. So that's the big picture earnings seasons. So I talked to a lot of you about this, and earnings. For those of you who don't know, stocks have a tendency to move 1 month before earnings report. And you can see here how NVIDIA did that. They're going to report. Apple, same thing, about a month out, and we just started to move higher and higher and higher. Several of these made this move. And you can go back through this video and watch look at the watch list here and kind of get a general idea. Amazon, same thing, about a month out, and then we started to move. Microsoft even did it right here. Month out, started to move. So not all the time, but it does work quite a few times. Micron's an exception. This thing moved after earnings. So like I said, not always, but definitely is something that you want to look at, and then what is working. So what is working? Right now, breakouts are working, and they're moving to the next level of resistance. And then they're consolidating like this, and then they're breaking out again. And you can see that action in a lot of these, right? Consolidation, breakout, consolidation. So the question is, do we break out again? AMD, same thing. We ran, we rested, and we ran. Now we're resting again. Amazon, same thing. This is probably a better one where we consolidated here, then we broke out, and we ran to the previous high, which is right here to the left, and then we consolidated, and now we ran again on Friday. That is what I mean by what is working, and you can back test that and go look at a lot of these. We are in an uptrend right now, because of earnings or not because of earnings, whatever you believe, that's strictly up to you. But to sum this up and to conclude is, where do we go from here? I don't know. We're going to have to see how earnings continue to play out. It's been a nice uptrend here for the Qs. I mean, look at this. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're now 15 days in an uptrend. And that is beautiful because we went right here to resistance. So We will see what happens next. But I hope you got something out of this video. And if you did, please feel free to comment. If you have any questions, just look for me on Twitter. I'm usually pretty good about answering that. And if you'd ever like to have a one-on-one, we can possibly schedule that as well. But until then, take care and enjoy your weekend.